When the shootout ended, it began to get dark, and we needed to spend the night somewhere. It was very dangerous outside. There were zombies everywhere, and they could destroy us at any moment. Xiao Yunlin and I found a secluded spot to wait out the night. She asked me a few questions. She still did not understand who I was and where I got things from the old world. Well, I'm not so simple. I did not immediately tell the whole truth. I do not trust her. I decided to change the subject by tossing her a pack of penicillin. She was in shock. For her, it seemed like a great treasure. I told her it was a reward for my salvation, and then I offered her to make a deal. I'll get more penicillin if she keeps me safe. I offered her more than just penicillin and things from the old world. I could believe that she could get all this just by protecting me. I began to list to her what I can get her from the old world. Fine dishes are the most delicious food in the world. No one has tasted it in this world for 1,000 years. She couldn't believe that I could get it all. Her stomach growled, and she screamed stop. Well, then she told me that she suspected that I was from the camp of opponents and could be her enemy. Well, I immediately interrupted her and replied that I did not belong to any camp. I told her you can call me a spoiled handsome man who will make your life heaven. She thought that I really saved her life and she owes me. And then she agreed to my deal. She immediately said that she would protect me and follow me. But if she notices something suspicious, she will destroy me. I told her you can call me Sean. After we made a contract with her, I decided to ask her about something, for her to tell me about this world in more detail. She began her story with the fact that the culprit of the end of the world is a certain virus that turned normal people into zombies, and the infection rate is 80%, reducing the planet's population from 9 billion people to 1.5 billion and turning the remaining 7.5 billion into zombies. No one knows where this virus came from, but it completely changed our world. She said that every zombie has a core inside its head. This is not a simple core, it has magical properties. Each such core will help you evolve and give you superpowers. The core can be consumed by eating it. Evolution potions are made from these cores. They are divided into 3 levels. The first level has a 20% chance of evolution, the second level 30%, and the third level 35%. In our world, the core is a medium of exchange like money. Due to the rapid adaptation of the R virus, which has developed amazing resistance to various antibiotics developed in our era, the effect of various antibiotics was minimal, and it was penicillin antibiotics that were the most common antibiotics many years ago that turned out to be extremely effective. But since a lot of time has passed, we cannot make penicillin as before due to the fact that the organisms that produced it have mutated. And so penicillin in our world has a crazy cost. Recently, people have divided into different camps and started to quarrel among themselves due to lack of food and medicine. Now we are in Chenqiu. There are only 3 small organizations, Camp 17, building land and ascending together. The group we met earlier was from Camp 17. They are an organization that burns, kills, and loots everything, has an almost perverted lust for all kinds of materials, including women, kills for pleasure, and even feeds on human flesh. The organization is large and located in another city. After listening to her, it became clearer to me what was going on. She offered to spend the night somewhere. We found a cozy place to wait out this terrible night. She invited me to sleep while she would guard me. I looked at her and could not believe that she was a real warrior, but you can't tell by her face. Then I contacted my supercomputer and told it to take me to my world. As soon as I woke up in the hospital in my world, a cute beauty was sitting on me. I could not understand who it was, but she was very beautiful. It was not clear to me why this girl was in my bed. She called me by name and I realized that this was my mistress. I couldn't understand why she was here, but she told me why I was in the hospital. Turns out I got hit by some crazy guy, and they brought me to the hospital, and this beauty, she paid all my bills. I sat and looked at how big she was. What big breasts she had. She asked if I was hungry and offered to go downstairs for something to eat. I could not understand what she needed from me. In my opinion, she likes me. She likes my emotions. She said that she would go and buy food and various things for me. She said to make a list and left. While no one is there, I decided to deal with my system. When I turn to the system, a kind of menu appears on my hand. There were different sections on this menu: memory, transfer, charge. I wonder how do I charge it, and how much charge is left unclear. Then this girl returned with full packages of purchases. I wanted to help her. She said not to strain because I'm sick. She likes me very much, it shows. But there is a problem. I will never have enough money to provide for her and make her happy. However, if I have a system now, then I should have a huge profit from selling goods between worlds, and maybe we can be together. At that moment, the door opened. It was her uncle. He said that the father of this girl asked to pick her up and take her to a family dinner, but she was against it. She did not want to go anywhere. Said that she had her own plans, but he took her by force. He told her that she could not argue with her father. Told her to wait for him downstairs. He turned and started looking at me. I couldn't understand what he wanted from me. He told me not to see her again and not to drag Xiao Exu into my problems. He was opposed to us dating. I remembered that they gave me a tidy sum so that I would not see this girl. If I become rich, I can afford everything and we will be together with her. But her uncle was categorically against it. And then he told me that in my life I would never achieve any heights. Well, let's see where I'll be in time. Then I was transported to another world. It was already dawn, and it was time for us to move out. The road would take about an hour. There were insanely many zombies. We went on the roof so that they would not reach us. We walked for a long time and finally came to our destination, to our base. She threw some small pebble, and the door opened and turned into a passage between houses. We entered and got to our base. I was surprised how well it was hidden. It's really not clear that there is something here. On the floor lay a sick girl. I was very surprised. I could not understand who it was, but it was her sister. She was very sick. She was very ill. But we brought her something that would help her. We brought her penicillin, and she immediately took it. I asked what happened to her. She replied that she was wounded by a zombie. Yesterday I went on a sortie to kill a mutant zombie to get a core from him and exchange it for penicillin. But I came across scumbags from the 17th camp. My sister was worried about me. Well, I said that everything was in order so that she would not worry. She introduced me to her sister and said that I was her savior, that I brought penicillin, which saved her life. I was very surprised that two girls managed to survive in such a terrible world. Xiao Yunyuan offered me something to eat. I was just starving. Was very grateful for the food, but the food turned out to be a total waste. She couldn't understand why I didn't like it, but it tasted like an incomprehensible, terrible porridge. I couldn't believe they eat this all the time. But she was fine. They were used to eating like that. I felt sincerely sorry for these two girls. They haven't eaten normal food for so long. They get this food in the river. It is not clear where it comes from. And then I remembered that I have sweets in my pocket. I treated her to this candy and immediately saw how much she liked it. She was simply delighted with this candy. She had not eaten such a thing for a long time. It was Butterscotch the White Rabbit, said it was delicious, and I had a few more. She began to quickly eat these sweets, almost bit off my hand, and she asked for more toffees. I gave her all the toffees I had. She took one toffee to her sister. My sister was also delighted with this divine taste, although it was just toffee. I felt so sorry for them that I even burst into tears. I took out all my savings, gave them. She couldn't believe that it was all real and everything, and that they could eat it all. But I said that I have a lot of it. She was shocked and couldn't believe it was real. And in return, she gave me some strange bag. I asked what it was, and she said that these were all the nuclei that she managed to collect. She gave me a whole bag of zombie cores that were very valuable. I already imagined how I would become rich. She said all the cores that she has and said that they are now mine. As soon as she handed me the bag of zombie cannonballs, immediately at that moment, the seal on her left hand began to burn. Are they related to each other? Okay, I'll take it. Well, are you sure you want to give them all? Judging by your words, this is a very valuable thing, I asked Xiao. The penicillin you gave me and my sister saved our lives, and all the food you gave us is worth a lot more cannonballs than we have here. I asked to go to the toilet and said that I would be back soon. The toilet turned out to be an ordinary pit. But I was not very embarrassed, and I started my very important business, if you know what I mean. It was a great opportunity to learn what it is. This is the core of the zombie. As I thought, the core and the seal on the hand are connected. It somehow connects. I brought the core to my hand, and it disappeared. The computer notified me. The charge was replenished, the number of transfer possibilities. 3. And as I understand it, the cores need to recharge the system in order to move between worlds. I casually started to replenish the charge, and the kernels fell into the compost pit. In total, it turned out to charge 9 transfer possibilities. But then I realized that the bulk of the cores fell into the toilet. God, I'm clumsy. It's terrible, but I definitely won't get them. Xiao Yanlan offered me to eat their regular food again, but it's just disgusting. I can't eat that. I asked for the food that I gave her, that this food is very valuable, and you can't eat it every day just like that, especially since she got all this tasteless food from the river, and the good doesn't disappear, ha ha ha. But I told her that there is nothing to save, and I have more I will bring if necessary. She wondered, said, "Isn't that all the food you had?" She didn't know that I had more food in the system's storage, but if I took it out now, it would look strange. But my supplies won't last the 3 of us for a few days. We need to go back and grab more food. I decided to lie that I'm a merchant. Every few days, they send me things to sell for food, so there's plenty of food. She was surprised and asked why I had not told before, but I told her that I was a merchant. I said that I did not trust her. He said that tomorrow I would go for the goods and bring even more food. The next day I went shopping. She stopped me and gave me a small revolver. I wondered why it was so small. But she said no matter what size it is, it matters how effective it is. She offered me her help and asked if I would like her to come with me. But I said that I could handle it myself. He said he would be back soon and closed the door. At this time, her sister became much better, so much so that she could walk. The medicine really helped, and she told her sister to follow me. They don't trust me and can't figure out where I'm from. I look suspicious to them. I have strange clothes. I don't know anything about their world. But I am very kind to them, and they protect me, and I hope this continues. I moved far enough away from our base. I hope no one saw me. I use transfer to my world. In my own world, I'm very poor, and it's time for me to leave the hospital, otherwise I won't be able to pay my bills. I haven't been able to find a job this month, and my savings are about to run out. I used to think that someday I would get rich, but in the end I'm just poor. Okay, the main thing now is to take food for my second world. Food and medicine are of course highly valued, but I have no customers at all. If I go to that thug camp, they'll probably kill me, and take everything I have. I scored various delicious things, all kinds of food. Xiao told me that there are peaceful camps. It might be possible to trade with them. I hope that there is still enough space in the system storage to have enough for all these products. For one transfer, half the core is spent. You need to use these transfers less. I remembered how many cores flew into the toilet pit. At this time, Xiao tried to follow me, did not understand where I had disappeared. I just disappeared for her. She went out to the observation deck and decided to watch where I would come from. I distributed all the things that I took from my world and began to walk back to the base. But the number of zombies has increased several times. A few hours ago, none of this was there. I decided to get around them somehow, but the farther I went, the more zombies there were. I started calling for Xiao's help. I climbed very high, but it turned out that I could not go there. I wanted to go back, but it was too late. The zombies were behind me. I fell off the roof, barely able to cling to some kind of cable. Zombies began to fall behind me from the cliff. I was thinking of quickly transporting myself to my own world, but the supercomputer offered to upgrade my climbing skill. Without thinking twice, I improved the skill for supercomputer charge points, and my ability to climb ropes became like that of a monkey. It was very cool. Now I can hold on to the cable with one hand like a monk. I could also walk on a cable like on the ground. I felt like a real Spiderman. Apparently in this world you can pump as in the game. At that moment, Xiao saw me walking on a rope and could not believe her eyes. I was very dexterous, and this only confirmed their guesses that I was hiding something from them. I was able to get to another building by cable. That road is full of zombies. I'll climb somewhere higher to find another way to the base. I decided to climb a tall building. For me, it was no problem. You can call me Peter Parker. I became very interested in what other superpowers there are in this system. I would like to try them as soon as possible. While I was climbing the glass, I saw that there were a lot of zombies in the building. They were all growling. I was able to see these zombies up close. They were very vile. I felt unreachable, and they couldn't do anything to me. I even started teasing Zombie. Can't do anything to me, can you? Want to taste fresh meat? Well, let's. Try to catch me, you can't, can you? And at that moment, the glass started to crack, and I fell right into the room that was full of zombies. I turned out to be a complete idiot. But my arms became so strong that I could chop zombies apart with my bare hands, but there were too many of them. I jumped out of the window and began to climb further. Zombies are very dangerous. If they pierce even a piece of my skin, then you can say goodbye to life. In such a dangerous world, it's better not to show off once again. Then I noticed that I had lost my backpack. It contained all the valuable things that I brought from my world. I got very upset. It turns out that for this trip, I did not get anything, and all the precious things were lost. The problem was that I no longer had the money to buy it all over again in my world. I pulled myself together and decided to return my backpack at any cost. I went back and lured the zombies in, and they all started falling out of the broken window. They were so stupid that they all just fell out. I saw my backpack. And then I saw some red shadow. I could not understand what it was. At first I thought that it seemed to me. But something strange was happening. It was a very fast monster that wanted to kill me. It had white long hair, and it could climb walls. I hope I can handle it. Otherwise, I'm not a tenant.